Alright, what is good my people, it's your boy Daniel Effects here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another weekly breakdown video, another forecast on the indices, US30, German 30, NASDAQ, as well as DXY, the dollar index. So let's get right into the video. I'm going to move myself down here in the corner and let's start off our analysis right here, DXY, the dollar index. The first thing that you want to do when I'm trying to identify whether or not the indices are going to be strengthening or weakening is deciding whether or not the dollar is going to be strengthening or weakening. Ultimately, the dollar will control the market, and regardless of what the price action is showing on the indices, the dollar has final say in whether or not the indices are going to be bullish or bearish. Now, if you want a full video about correlation, let me know and I'll make that. But it's a very, very strong fundamental point that you need to be looking at before you actually start trading the indices. Now, if you guys have been paying attention and you've seen the past couple weekly breakdown videos, you'll know that I was kind of anticipating price to come up right here and fill out this little inefficiency that's been pending here for a while. Now, it did take a week longer to play out than I initially anticipated, but eventually last week we did come up right here for Wednesday. We filled out that inefficiency and immediately had a strong reaction back bearish. Now, granted, there was a ton of fundamental news last week. There was NFP, there was a bunch of other red news throughout the week, which was definitely swaying the market. But overall, price kind of done exactly what I wanted it to do, which is come out, fill out this inefficiency right here, react to it, and have a bearish movement. Now, as of now, we're still currently holding this little level. We're still currently holding this little support. I don't know what you want to call it, but I would just refer to it as liquidity. There's blatant liquidity resting below here right now. Now, looking into Monday or coming into Monday, what I want to see is one or two things. I either want to see a very strong bearish reaction off of this level, so a very strong bearish wick, and we roll back bullish immediately, which to me would indicate strength, and we'd be looking for buys for the rest of the week on DXY, what was actually sells on the indices. Or I want to see Monday open up and take out this sell side liquidity, maybe wick it, maybe pierce it, or close below, in which case I maybe sit out a day and wait to see whether or not price is going to begin to form bearish price action. Now, overall, I would have to say I'm a little bit more bearish. I'm a little bit more bullish on the dollar than I am bearish. So I would want to see this downside liquidity here get taken via a wick rejection, and then for us to roll back bullish so we can look for that continuation higher. That would be ideal price action. But granted, the market is not going to do what I want it to do. It's going to do what it wants to do. So regardless, what I'm actually going to do is just wait for Monday's candle to open up, see how we open, see how we react to this level, whether or not we want to hold it and continue higher. Because bear in mind, we don't necessarily have to take liquidity now. This could be left here untested for weeks. We could just continue much higher, do our own thing, and then come back later. But in an ideal world, I'd like to see this get taken, a little fake out move. It would probably be a little bullish fake out move on the indices as well. I'd like to see the retailers get trapped in those movements, and then we can enter the actual move, which should hopefully be a bullish continuation on the dollar, meaning additional shorts on the indices, and everything lines up beautifully. Now, taking that information right here to US30, the one and only. Now, if you're on last week's Learn and Earn session, you know we caught some absolute banging trades off of the forecasting that was done last week. Now, again, I'm going to pop up the screenshot right here of this video that I done last week, the indice forecast, and I may even put up a clip. But what I was predicting is price is going to come up. Bare minimum is retest this previous structural point. Here on the daily, it's also a 4H level. If I were to zoom in, previous structure, I was anticipating that the bare minimum price is going to come up, retest this region before then deciding what to do. And lo and behold, what happened? Well, price came up, we tested that region, we then proceeded to consolidate. News came out, and we dumped super hard, and we came in for that bearish continuation movement. Now, I wasn't really entirely sure what was going to happen once we tapped into this region. The only thing I knew is that we were going to come up to this region at the bare minimum. So simply using that information, what I done is I caught a beautiful long continuation movement right here on this little daily candle, and then I simply got out for the rest of the week while I waited for price to show me strong sentiment. And you can see now we've clearly done that. We had this daily liquidity resting below these lows right here that got clearly taken. Also, just basic market structure 101, we formed a lower low, a lower high, and now breaking structure to form a new lower low. So it looks like we're incredibly bearish at the moment. It's a very strong sentiment piece of price action. Now, the last little level that we've got to kind of break until we've just got all this free little pip count right here. What I mean by free pip count is there's nothing right here to necessarily stop price action. There's no key levels, there's no accumulation of wicks. It's kind of just free terrain. I like to call it an area of free traffic where price can very easily just melt through this or cut through this period like butter. Now, I want to see this structural low get broken, this little wick low. We're almost at that level. We're almost ready to break. But just with my knowledge of the indices, I know that on Monday we may open up and maybe leave like a little tweezer bottom right here, push back bullish, a small retracement again to kind of fake out the average retail trader into maybe taking long positions, taking buys, before we then come down and take out that overall liquidity and maybe start to fill out some of this stuff down here. But overall, my overall bias is I would be looking for shorts, scaling into a 4H time frame. What I would kind of like to see on Monday is for price to open up, maybe retrace back up here to fill out this inefficiency, this imbalance, FEG, whatever you want to refer to it as, before tapping into this 4H order block. So I want to see price pull back, give us that retracement. Sorry, my chart's super messy. Give us that retracement, maybe hold here for Tuesday before Wednesday we calm down to continue that bearish momentum. So overall, I feel like it's going to be a very, very good week on US30. Granted, if the dollar doesn't do anything crazy, if there's no high impact news that really sways the market, this is what I'm anticipating. We're going to come up, fill out the gap, and continue bearish. Watch it. Now, taking all of that to NASDAQ, it's essentially the exact same price action, but NASDAQ is holding a little bit more bullish. We kind of haven't fully broken the structural low right here. We had that same area of liquidity resting here on NASDAQ, and we kind of have wicked it. We kind of have broken below, but I would like to see price go a little bit lower before I fully class it as a liquidity grab. Granted, if we're going to get that short movement on US30, we should have the same movement here on NASDAQ. It's unlikely that we have bearish price action on US30 while having bullish price action on NASDAQ. The degree in which that we're going to retrace may be different, because right here on NASDAQ, our level is much higher in terms of pip count. So I'd want to see price come up, take out these wicks right here on a 4H time frame, and then fill out this little, I guess it's much smaller here, but fill out this little FEG and tap into this 4H order block again. An overall target for NASDAQ would probably be, for me, 11500 flat. It's a nice little psychological level just before we fully break this wick right here. Or it's actually beneath the wick rather. So I would be on the break of this wick and I'd be on the fill of this little gap right here. Granted, in my opinion, US30 is much cleaner price action to be trading at the moment. We have much nicer market structure. It's just overall a better pair to be trading as of now. But definitely, if we begin to properly break structure down here and actually create new levels in the market on a 4H time frame, it will be nice to also trade NASDAQ. But for the time being, I'm much more primarily focused on US30 because it just looks much cleaner. Now, German 30 is absolute shambolic right now. We're still currently in this overall range. There's not really much analysis that needs to be done on this. On a daily time frame, we're still pretty badly in the range. And if you're ranging on the daily, you're absolutely terrible on the lower time frame. So this is at the moment still completely locked off. It's untradeable in my opinion. Again, if we do see that short movement on US30 and NASDAQ, you would have to kind of anticipate the German 30 would follow suit a little bit, which would mean maybe breaking structure down here. But again, not really too interested in any of this because it's currently untradeable until we properly make a breakout move. So we're just going to leave it right there. Now, finally, for all you GBP USD traders, to me, this looks like an absolute shambolic piece of price action. It looks like very low volume, very rangy. You can see the past 4 or 5 weeks has been very, very choppy price action. Scaling into a daily time frame, like, come on, what is this? Like, you forex traders, you need to come over to the indices where we actually have nice price action and nice movements, because this is looking very, very nasty. I'm sure if you zoomed into like a 4H or 1H, there'd be a couple potential trades in here, maybe. But yeah, again, I don't really know what to do with this. This is completely up to you forex traders, but yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Super short video. It's very, very quick analysis. We didn't really need to go too in depth. It's just entirely dependent on what the dollar does. We're just looking for those continuation moves. I feel like March is going to be a beautiful week, not a beautiful week, a beautiful month in the markets. I reckon we're really starting to get this volume, and the indices are about to start having very, very high volume days. So I'm personally excited. If you're on the learn and earn, it's about to warm up, guys. It's about to warm up. But yeah, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow, Monday, when we start trading. Probably not trading the Monday. It's probably going to be a retracement day, but definitely for Tuesday, we'll be looking to take those short continuation movements. Let's run it.